In the dim glow of Seattle's relentless rain, Alex Rivera had always believed perfection was his armor. Straight A's, captain of the debate team, the golden boy every teacher praised. But that shattered the night Jordan Hayes crashed through the library window like a storm no one saw coming. Glass exploding in a symphony of chaos that pulled Alex into the eye of the hurricane. One stolen glance across the shards, and Alex felt the world tilt, his heart pounding not from fear, but from the electric pull of eyes that promised trouble he never knew he craved. The library at Evergreen High had been Alex's sanctuary, a fortress of polished oak shelves and a faint scent of aged paper, where he could lose himself in equations and essays until the world made sense again. It was after hours, the clock ticking past 9, and the rain hammered the roof like impatient fingers demanding entry. Alex, ever the diligent senior, had stayed late to finish his college application essay, something about leadership and legacy, words that now felt hollow as he hunched over his laptop, the screen's blue light carving shadows across his face. His dark hair was impeccably combed, his collared shirt pressed, a habit drilled into him by his mother's endless reminders of what it meant to be the first in their family to aim for Ivy League dreams. He didn't hear the footsteps outside at first, muffled by the storm. But then came the crash, a deafening shatter of glass that sent books tumbling from their shelves and Alex leaping to his feet, heart slamming against his ribs. Alarms wailed to life, red lights pulsing like wounds in the dark. Through the jagged hole in the window, a figure tumbled in, rolling to a crouch with the grace of someone who'd done this before. Jordan Hayes. Of course, it was Jordan, the school's resident rebel, the kid with a rap sheet longer than his detention slips, the one who wore his leather jacket like a badge of war and smirked at authority like it was a joke only he got. Jordan shook off the rain like a wolf emerging from the woods, waters sluicing from his blonde hair that fell in wild, unkempt waves over his forehead. His blue eyes, sharp as shattered ice, scanned the room until they locked on Alex. For a split second, time hung suspended. The rain's rhythm syncing with Alex's ragged breaths, the air thick with the scent of wet earth and adrenaline. Jordan's lips curved into that infamous grin, all teeth and trouble. But there was something else in his gaze, a flicker of surprise, maybe even regret, that made Alex's stomach twist in ways he couldn't name. "What the hell are you doing here, Rivera?" Jordan's voice was low, gravelly, laced with that Seattle drawl that turned every word into a challenge. He straightened up, all lean muscle and dripping defiance, his faded jeans clinging to his legs like a second skin. At 18, he looked every bit the storm cloud he embodied, tall, broad-shouldered, with a faint scar tracing his jawline from some untold fight. Alex swallowed hard, his mind racing through protocols. Call security, report the break-in, preserve the evidence. But his feet wouldn't move. This is breaking and entering, Hayes. You could get expelled. Worse. His voice came out steadier than he felt, but inside, panic bloomed hot and unfamiliar. Why wasn't he yelling? Why wasn't he running? Jordan took a step closer, shards crunching under his boots, and Alex caught the faint scent of cigarette smoke and pine, wild, untamed things that had no place in this ordered world. Jordan laughed, a short, bitter sound that echoed off the walls. Expelled? Baby, I've been on thin ice since freshman year. With one more crack. He glanced at the window, then back at Alex, his eyes narrowing as if seeing him for the first time. Not the perfect student, but something rawer, exposed. You gonna rat me out, golden boy? Or are you gonna pretend you didn't see shit? The alarm blared on, a siren's wail that should have spurred action, but Alex stood rooted, his pulse thundering in his ears. He'd seen Jordan around school, lounging against lockers with his crew of misfits, skipping class to tag graffiti on abandoned warehouses by the sound. Always one step ahead of the consequences. Rumors swirled about him. Foster kid bounced between homes, fights with his stepdad, a talent for skateboarding that could have landed him scholarships if he cared. But up close, Jordan wasn't just chaos. He was alive in a way Alex had only read about in books, his presence filling the room like the rain outside demanded to flood in. I should, Alex stammered, but the words tasted like ash. His eyes darted to Jordan's hand, still clenched from the climb, knuckles bruised and calloused, marks of a life Alex could barely imagine. For the first time, perfection felt like a cage, and Jordan, with his reckless fire, held the key he didn't know he wanted. Sirens wailed in the distance now, closing in like fate's cruel joke. Jordan cursed under his breath, wiping rain from his face, and for a heartbeat, vulnerability cracked through his facade. Eyes wide, chest heaving, a boy not much older than Alex but worlds away. "Look, I didn't mean to drag you into this. Just needed a place to crash till the heat dies down." His voice softened, almost pleading, and Alex's resolve crumbled like the glass at their feet. Before he could think, Alex grabbed Jordan's arm, wet leather slick under his palm, and pulled him toward the back exit, away from the front where lights now flashed blue and red through the rain-streaked windows. "Go, now, through the storage room. There's a door to the alley." The words tumbled out, traitorous and thrilling, his hand lingering a second too long on Jordan's sleeve. Jordan paused, searching Alex's face, that grin flickering back but softer, laced with something dangerously like gratitude. Why? He asked, simple and piercing. Because you're the storm I didn't know I needed, Alex thought, but he said nothing, just shoved him toward the door. Jordan vanished into the shadows just as the library doors burst open, security flooding in with shouts and flashlights. Alex stood alone amid the wreckage, heart racing, the ghost of Jordan's touch burning on his skin. That night, as he spun a half-truth to the principal about hearing the crash too late, Alex realized his armor had a chink, and Jordan Hayes had slipped right through it. The fallout hit like a tidal wave the next morning. Evergreen High buzzed with whispers. The broken window, taped over with plywood, like a scar no one could ignore. Alex arrived early, his backpack heavy with textbooks and the weight of his lie, sliding into homeroom just as the bell rang. His best friend, Mia, a sharp-witted Korean-American girl with a pixie cut and a knack for poetry, eyed him suspiciously over her coffee. "You look like you wrestled a ghost last night," she said, sliding him a donut from her stash. "Spiel, what's with the library drama? I heard Hayes did it." Classic Jordan, right? Guy's a walking felony. Alex forced a laugh, but it came out strained, his mind replaying the crunch of glass, the heat of Jordan's arm under his fingers. Yeah, total chaos. I was there finishing my essay. Security showed up right after. He omitted the part where he'd helped the thief escape, the part where Jordan's eyes had lingered like a promise. Mia raised an eyebrow, but before she could probe, Principal Hargrove's voice crackled over the intercom. All seniors to the auditorium. Mandatory assembly regarding last night's incident. Groans rippled through the room, but Alex's stomach dropped. This was it, the reckoning. The auditorium smelled of polished wood and stale popcorn from last week's movie night. Rows of folding chairs filled with restless teens under the harsh fluorescence. Alex claimed a seat near the back, next to Mia, his eyes scanning the crowd despite himself. There, slouched in the third row, Jordan Hayes, looking every bit the unbothered king of detention. His leather jacket was slung over the chair, revealing a black band tee stretched across his chest, and he chewed gum with lazy defiance, ignoring the glares from teachers. Hargrove, a stern woman in her 50s with a no-nonsense bun, took the stage, her heels clicking like judgments. Last night's vandalism was not just a prank. It's a breach of trust. Mr. Hayes has been identified as the perpetrator. Gasps and murmurs erupted, but Jordan didn't flinch, just met her gaze with that trademark smirk. Then Hargrove's eyes landed on Alex. "And Mr. Rivera, as the only witness present, your testimony was incomplete. To foster accountability, you two will collaborate on a community service project, restoring the school garden. 50 hours supervised. Dismissed." The room spun. Alex's face burned as heads turned, whispers slicing like knives. Perfect Alex with the town troublemaker? Mia's jaw dropped, but Jordan twisted in his seat, locking eyes across the aisle. His smirk faded into something unreadable, a mix of amusement and intrigue that sent a shiver down Alex's spine. "Looks like we're stuck together, golden boy," he mouthed, the words silent but thunderous. As the assembly ended, chaos of shuffling feet and chatter, Alex bolted for the door, rain pelting the windows like accusations. He didn't see Jordan following until a hand clamped his shoulder in the hallway. Firm, warm, electric. "Hey, thanks for last night. Oh, you won." Alex whirled, close enough to see the flecks of green in Jordan's blue eyes, the faint stubble shadowing his jaw. "Don't. Just stay out of trouble." But his voice lacked conviction, and Jordan's laugh was low, intimate, like a secret shared in the storm. "Trouble's my middle name, Rivera, but maybe you can keep me in line." He winked, sauntering off down the hall, leaving Alex breathless, the hallway blurring as classmates streamed past. For the first time, perfection felt like a lie, and Jordan Hayes was the truth crashing in. The school garden project started that afternoon, a forgotten patch behind the cafeteria overgrown with weeds and littered with cigarette butts. Ironic, given Jordan's habit. Alex arrived in khakis and a polo, gloves and trowel in hand, determined to treat this as just another task to ace. The air was crisp, laced with salt from the nearby Puget Sound, and gulls cried overhead like mocking spectators. Jordan showed up late, of course, skateboarding in with a toolbox dangling from his belt, his hair windswept and cheeks flushed from the ride. "Sup, partner?" he drawled, dropping to his knees in the dirt without ceremony, his jeans already streaking with mud. Up close in daylight, he was even more disarming. Freckles dusting his nose, a tattoo peeking from his sleeve, a small wave curling around his wrist, symbol of the restless sea he seemed born from. They worked in silence at first, Alex meticulously pulling vines while Jordan hacked at roots with a machete-like vigor, sweat beading on his brow. The tension hummed like the rain that threatened to break again, every accidental brush of hands sending sparks Alex tried to ignore. Why did Jordan have to smell like rain in rebellion? Why did his laugh, rare as it was, rumble through Alex like thunder? So, Jordan finally said, wiping his forehead with the back of his hand, leaving a smudge of earth. Why'd you cover for me? Most people would have thrown me to the wolves. Alex paused, trowel hovering, the soil cool and grounding under his knees. Honesty felt dangerous, but Jordan's gaze pinned him, curious and unguarded. I don't know, maybe because everyone deserves a second chance. Or because you're not as bad as they say. The words hung there, vulnerable, and Alex cursed inwardly. Too much. Jordan's expression shifted, surprise softening the edges of his smirk. He leaned back on his heels, studying Alex like a puzzle. Get a fit, Rivera. Keep talking like that, and I might think you're soft on me. The tease was light, but his eyes darkened, lingering on Alex's lips a beat too long. Heat flooded Alex's cheeks, and he ducked his head, stabbing at a weed. In your dreams, haze. But dreams? That night, as rain lashed his bedroom window in their modest Capitol Hill home, Alex lay awake, replaying the moment. The way Jordan's throat bobbed when he swallowed, the strength in his hands that could break or build. Sleep came fitful, haunted by blue eyes and the whisper of what if. Days blurred into a rhythm of soil and secrets. They'd meet after school, the garden transforming under their hands. Roses pruned back to life, trellises reinforced, wildflowers seeded in defiant bursts of color. Mia grilled Alex endlessly. What's with the glow? Spill on hot Troublemaker. But he deflected, burying the flutter in his chest under layers of denial. He was Alex Rivera, a straight kid, destined for Yale and a life of measured success. Crushes on boys? That was a fairy tale for someone else. Jordan, though, peeled back layers like onion skin. One evening, as dusk painted the sky bruised purple, he lit a cigarette during a break, exhaling smoke toward the clouds. You ever feel like you're living someone else's life? He asked, voice quiet, the vulnerability slipping out like the smoke curling between them. Alex hesitated, gloves off, fingers tracing a pedal. All the time, like if I slip, everything falls apart. The admission surprised him, raw and real, and Jordan's gaze sharpened, seeing too much. Then slip with me sometime. Feels good. Jordan stubbed out the cig, his hand brushing Alex's knee as he stood. Accidental, maybe, but the touch lingered like fire. That weekend, the project demanded a supply run to the local nursery in Fremont, Seattle's quirky arts district with its troll statues and street art murals. Alex drove his mom's sensible Honda, Jordan shotgun with his boots on the dash, radio blasting indie rock that vibrated through the seats. The nursery was a riot of green, ferns and succulents under glass roofs, the air humid and alive. They loaded flats of pansies and mulch, banter flowing easier now, Jordan's jokes landing with a warmth that made Alex's sides ache from laughing. At the checkout, as Alex fumbled for his card, Jordan leaned in close, breath warm against his ear. Let me. Oh, you remember? Their shoulders touched, and time slowed. The clerk's chatter fading, the world narrowing to the heat of Jordan's body inches away. Alex's heart hammered, a dangerous ache blooming low in his belly. Gay. The word flickered, unbidden, terrifying. He pulled away, mumbling thanks, but in the car, silence stretched thick until Jordan broke it. You okay? Looked like you saw a ghost back there. I'm fine, Alex lied, gripping the wheel as rain began to speckle the windshield. But he wasn't. That night, alone, he Googled, "Am I gay?" In incognito mode, articles blurring through tears of confusion. Jordan's face haunted him, laughing, fierce, alive. What if this wasn't trouble, but truth? The garden bloomed defiant by midweek, a testament to their unlikely alliance. But trouble, as Jordan predicted, found them. It started with a note slipped into Alex's locker. Traitor. Hanging with a freak? Watch your back. And signed, but the scrawl matched Tyler Grant, Jordan's rival from the skate crew, a bully with a grudge and a homophobic streak whispered in locker rooms. Alex crumpled it, stomach churning, but said nothing during their session, weeding with furious energy. Jordan noticed, of course, those eyes missed nothing. What's eating you, pretty boy? Nothing. But Jordan's hand on his wrist stopped him, gentle yet firm, thumb tracing a vein that pulsed wild. Liar. Talk to me. The dam cracked. Alex shoved the note at him, words spilling. The whispers, the stares, the fear that this, whatever this was, would ruin him. Jordan read it, jaw tightening, then crushed it in his fist. Tyler's an asshole. Ignore him. But if it's me causing this, I can back off. No. Alex blurted, the word fierce, surprising them both. Their eyes met, inches apart, rain starting to fall in soft patters. Jordan's breath hitched, and slowly, tentatively, his hand cupped Alex's cheek, rough palm against smooth skin, erasing the world. For a heartbeat, they were suspended, lips brushing in a ghost of a kiss, hearts sinking to the storm's rhythm. Then Jordan pulled back, eyes stormy. We can't. Not like this. But they already had. That kiss, featherlight and forbidden, ignited everything. Alex drove home in a daze, tasting salt and smoke, the note's threat paling against the terror of loss. Jordan Hayes wasn't just trouble. He was home, and Alex would fight for it, rain or ruin. The first real kiss came 2 nights later, under the same relentless Seattle sky that seemed to weep for their secrets. Alex had texted Jordan on impulse. Garden? Can't sleep. His fingers trembling over the screen in the dark of his room. Posters of Einstein and MLK staring down like silent judges. Jordan replied instantly. On my way. Bring coffee. They met at the garden gate, steam rising from thermoses as fog rolled in from the sound, wrapping the world in cotton wool. Jordan arrived on foot, hood up against the drizzle, his usual swagger tempered by something softer in his eyes. Rough night? He asked, taking the cup, their fingers brushing. Deliberate this time. Alex nodded, leaning against the fence, the wood damp and splintery. The note. And everything I keep thinking about earlier. In the rain. His voice was barely above the patter of drops on leaves, but Jordan heard, stepping closer until their breaths mingled, warm against the chill. Me too. Jordan's hand found Alex's waist, tentative, then sure, pulling him into the shadow of the trellis they'd built together. The world narrowed to the heat of bodies pressing close, jackets rustling, hearts pounding in unison. When their lips met, it was no ghost, fierce, hungry, Jordan's mouth tasting of coffee and desperation, his fingers tangling in Alex's hair to tilt his head just so. Alex melted into it, hands fisting Jordan's shirt, the world exploding in stars behind his eyelids. It was messy, urgent, teeth clashing, breaths gasping, but perfect in its imperfection, a rebellion against the cages they'd built. When they broke apart, foreheads resting together, Jordan whispered, "You're gonna be the death of me, Rivera." "Good," Alex murmured, a smile breaking through the haze. "Because you're mine now." But dawn brought reality's bite. School was a minefield. Tyler's crew lurking in halls, shooting glares that promised violence. Mia's concerned texts. "WTF is going on? You vanished yesterday." Alex dodged, burying himself in AP Calc and debate prep. But Jordan was a constant pull. Stolen glances in the cafeteria, notes passed in class. Meet after? Mr. Nerd Face. Their stolen moments multiplied. Late-night drives to Gasworks Park, sprawled on picnic blankets under industrial ruins, sharing stories by flashlight. Jordan opened up in fragments, his mom's overdose when he was 12, bouncing through foster homes in Tacoma, skateboarding as escape. "It's the only time I feel free," he'd say, demonstrating ollies on cracked concrete, Alex cheering like a fool. Alex shared too, haltingly, the pressure of his parents' immigrant dreams, dad a mechanic, mom a nurse, pushing him toward medicine, no room for distractions. "They think I'm their ticket out. What if I disappoint them?" Vulnerability scared him, but Jordan listened, hands squeezing his blue eyes steady anchors. "You're not a ticket, Alex. You're you, and that's enough." Words that healed cracks Alex didn't know were there, weaving them tighter. Yet shadows loomed. Tyler cornered Jordan after gym one day, slamming him against lockers in the empty weight room. "Heard you're poaching the golden boy. Stay away, fag." The slur landed like a punch, Jordan shoving back, fists flying in a blur of rage. Alex walked in on the tail end. Blood on Jordan's lip, Tyler sprawled, coaches hauling them apart. Suspension loomed. 2 weeks for both. Hardro's disappointment, a knife twist. "This ends now, Mr. Hayes. And Mr. Rivera. Choose your associations wisely." Alex's parents got the call, mom's voice sharp over dinner. "A fight? With that delinquent? What are you thinking, Mijo?" "Dad, it's not." But explanations tangled, lies too thin. He stormed out into the rain, texting Jordan. "Park. Now." They met at the water's edge, Lake Union lapping dark and restless, city lights smearing on waves. Jordan nursed his split lip with an ice pack from corner store, but his eyes blazed. "Tyler's full of shit. What if this is too much?" "Stop." Alex grabbed his jacket, pulling him close, the kiss salt-tanged and fierce, tasting blood and tears. "I'm in. All the way." Jordan's arms wrapped around him, solid and safe. "Then we're us against the world, babe." The endearment slipped out, natural as breathing, and Alex's heart swelled. Love, real and terrifying, blooming in the storm. Suspension bound them closer, days blending into a secret world. Jordan's current foster home was a cramped apartment in Ballard. Stepdad a trucker who barked more than spoke. Little brother Timmy, a wide-eyed 8-year-old idolizing his big bro Alex, met them awkwardly one afternoon. Bringing tacos as peace offering, Timmy's giggles easing the tension as Jordan taught him tricks on a mini skateboard in the living room. "Alex is cool, right, Jordy?" Timmy beamed, gap-toothed, and Jordan ruffled his hair, eyes soft. The coolest. Nights, they'd sneak to the rooftop, city sprawled below like a glittering promise, sharing a blanket against the wind. Jordan traced constellations on Alex's palm. "That's Orion, hunter like you, chasing stars." Kisses trailing up his arm, slow and reverent, bodies entwining under layers of clothes, exploring with whispers and gasps. It was sacred, this learning of each other. Jordan's scars mapped with fingertips, Alex's insecurities soothed with murmurs of beautiful. But re-entry to school was hell. Whispers followed. Rivera's gone soft, Hayes turned him. Tyler's crew escalated. Vandalism on Alex's locker, Freak scrawled in marker. Jordan's board snapped in the parking lot. Mia confronted Alex in the girls' bathroom, her safe space. I know, okay? About you and Jordan. And I support you. But this is dangerous. Tyler's unhinged. Tears stung as Alex hugged her. I love him, Mia. Can't stop. Her fierce nod was lifeline. Then fight smart. I got your back. The breaking point came at the fall festival, school's biggest event. Booths of caramel apples and hayrides under string lights. The air crisp with bonfire smoke. Alex and Jordan planned to go together, low-key, hands brushing in crowds. But Tyler ambushed in the woods behind the field, crew flanking, bottles glinting menacingly. Thought you could prance around like that? Tyler sneered, shoving Jordan forward. Alex stepped between, voice steady despite terror. Back off. This ends tonight. Laughter cruel. Then fists, Jordan tackling Tyler, Alex dodging swings, chaos erupting. A bottle shattered near his head, glass nicking his cheek, blood-warm trickle. Jordan roared, protective fury, but numbers overwhelmed. Until Mia's scream pierced. Help! Fight! Teachers swarming, lights flashing. In the aftermath, ER waiting rooms sterile and stark, stitches closing Alex's cut, Jordan pacing like a caged wolf. This is my fault. I bring ruin. No. Alex pulled him down, forehead to forehead, voices hushed. You bring life. We face it together. Charges loomed, assault, vandalism, but community service piled higher, parents in crisis mode. Alex's confession to his mom that night, tears streaming. I'm gay, mama. And I love him. Her silence stretched eternal. Then arms enveloped him. Oh, Mijo. We love you. Always. Jordan's came harder, stepdad's rage. Not under my roof. But Timmy's hug, don't go, Jordy, and a social worker's intervention bought time. They emerged scarred but standing, hands clasped in the hospital lot. Rain washing clean. Winter deepened, garden dormant, but their bond evergreen. College apps loomed. Yale for Alex, but he added community college options near Seattle. Jordan applying to trade school for welding, dreams shifting to include each other. Prom night, they danced under disco balls, suits rumpled, kisses stolen in alcoves, the world fading to just them. Graduation dawned bright, caps tossed to blue skies, families cheering. Alex's speech, valedictorian honor, wove their story veiled. Sometimes, the unexpected path leads home. To the ones who see your storms and love the rain. Jordan in the crowd, eyes shining, pride swelling. Summer stretched lazy. Road trips to Olympic National Park, hiking rainforest hand in hand, whispers of forever under Ho rainforest canopy. Challenges lingered, prejudices echoes, futures uncertain, but love, fierce and chosen, fortified them. In a quiet moment by Lake Crescent, water mirror still, Jordan knelt, rings simple silver wave. Marry me? Not now, but someday. Be my always. Tears blurred Alex's yes, kiss sealing vows unspoken. Their story, unseen coming, became legend. Not perfection or trouble, but two boys who dared love wholly, proving hearts conquer storms. Yet even as rings glinted in promise, shadows of doubt crept in with the fall semester's chill. Alex deferred Yale for a year, enrolling at the University of Washington, closer to Jordan's welding program at South Seattle College, a compromise that eased his parents' worries but gnawed at his ambition. You're throwing it away, Dad muttered over breakfast, eyes shadowed by long shifts at the garage. But Mom's hand on his follow your heart, Mijo, tipped the scale. Jordan thrived in classes, calloused hands shaping metal into art, sculptures of waves and stars gifted to Alex, hung in his dorm like talismans. But nights, when exhaustion hit, old fears surfaced. What if I'm holding you back? Jordan voiced one evening, sprawled on Alex's twin bed, city lights filtering through blinds. The room smelled of ramen and textbooks, posters of protests now joined by Jordan's sketches. Alex straddled his lap, hands framing his face, thumbs tracing that scarred jaw. You're lifting me up. Every day. The kiss started soft, reassurance, but deepened into fire. Clothes shed in whispers, bodies familiar, yet ever new, gasps echoing against thin walls. Lovemaking was their language, fluent in touches that said stay, in rhythms that chased demons away. Campus life buzzed diverse. LGBTQ club meetings in the HUB, where Alex found community, rainbow flags waving like welcomes. Jordan tagged along reluctantly at first, leather jacket out of place among button-ups, but stories shared around circles cracked his shell. Lost my first love to conversion camp. One guy confessed, voice breaking. Jordan's grip tightened on Alex's hand under the table. Silent vow. Trouble, though, followed like a bad habit. Tyler, expelled but unbowed, resurfaced via social media. Anonymous posts tagging Alex. Golden boy gone rainbow. Pathetic. Screenshots circulated, likes piling like stones. Mia, now a UW2, majoring in lit, rallied defenses, blocked the noise. You're stronger. But the real storm brewed at home. Jordan's stepdad kicked him out after a blow-up. Beer-fueled rant about disgracing the family. Timmy caught in crossfire, sobbing as social workers intervened. Jordan crashed on Alex's couch. Duffel of clothes is only baggage. Eyes hollow. Can't go back. Not safe for Tim. Alex held him through nightmares, body curled protective, but resolve hardened. They petitioned for kinship foster care. Jordan for Timmy. Alex's family vouching. Lawyers from the club pro bono. Hearings dragged. Courtrooms cold as judgments. But testimonies poured. Mia's poetry on family redefined. Alex's parents' tearful support. Love is love, Mom declared, voice steady. Victory came fragile. Temporary custody granted, Timmy wide-eyed in their cramped apartment off campus. Skateboard underarm. You're my heroes, he whispered bedtime, Jordan's throat tight, Alex's heart full. 3 became family, makeshift but mighty. Winter quarter brought snow rare for Seattle, blanketing the city in hush. They built a snowman in Discovery Park, Timmy's giggles echoing, Jordan's arm around Alex's waist, gloved hands linking. But beneath joy, tension simmered. Alex aced midterms, but envy flickered. Jordan's passion for welding lit him from within, while Alex questioned pre-med's grind. Am I doing this for them or me? He confessed over hot cocoa, flakes melting on lashes. Jordan's blue eyes, steady as ever, met his. Then find you. I'll be here. Advice that freed. Alex switched to environmental science, passions aligning with the garden they'd nurtured, sustainability seminars sparking fire. Spring bloomed rebellion. Pride Month hit, parades snaking through downtown, rainbows clashing with gray skies. They marched, Timmy on shoulders waving flags, Jordan's tattoo inked bolder, a pride wave added. But counter-protesters jeered, slurs flying like shrapnel. One hurled a bottle, shattering near Timmy. Jordan shielded, glass grazing his arm. Alex's yell cut through, enough, drawing cops, but the fear lingered, a bruise on their joy. That night, patched up in ER again, Jordan laughed through stitches. We're magnets for drama, huh? Alex's kiss silenced him, fierce. But we survive, together. Summer road, trip healed. Driving Route 101 south. Coastal cliffs dramatic. Stops at tide pools where Timmy chased crabs. Alex and Jordan stealing kisses on bluffs. Wind whipping secrets away. In Oregon's redwoods, they carved initials into bark. Subtle, eternal. Vowing under ancient giants. Fall brought growth pains. Timmy's school struggles. Bullies echoing old hurts. Tested them. Jordan coached skate lessons. Alex tutored math. Nights collapsing exhausted but entwined. Intimacy evolved. Deeper. Slow explorations in dawn light, whispers of futures. House by the sound, garden vast, family chosen. Crisis peaked mid-semester. Anonymous email to deans. Fabricated claims of Jordan's influence corrupting Alex. Attached Tyler's doctored photos. Staged intimacy, twisted ugly. Investigations loomed, reputations teetering. Alex face panel, voice unwavering. This is harassment. Love isn't corruption. Evidence mounted. IP traces to Tyler's dorm. Forcing his apology, expulsion. Vindication tasted bittersweet, scars reminding. But from ashes, strength. Alex keynote at Campus Pride, story weaving theirs into tapestry of resilience. Jordan sculptures sold at Art Walk, proceeds to youth shelters, his grin proud. Winter solstice, under holiday lights strung in their apartment. Timmy asleep, they exchange promises, not rings yet, but journals. Alex's essays on love's ecology, Jordan's sketches of their life mapped. To us, they toasted with cider, lips meeting soft, snow falling silent outside. Spring senior showcase. Alex's thesis on urban gardens won acclaim. Jordan's installation, an intertwined metal heart and tree, stole breaths. Graduation duel, caps airborne, Timmy cheering loudest. Parents mingled, toasts bridging worlds. Alex's family embracing Jordan, his stepdad absent, but Timmy's hand in his enough. Summer wedding small, backyard affair in their garden's expansion. Roses they planted blooming wild. Vows traded under arbor. In storms and sun, I choose you. Rings exchanged, wave-etched silver, ceiling. Years wove forward, careers bloomed. Alex consulting green initiatives, Jordan's studio forging community art. Timmy thrived, teen now out and proud, dating sweetly. Family grew, adoptions dreamed, gardens shared. Their love, once unseen, became beacon. Speaking at schools, stories inspiring youth to claim truths. In quiet evenings by the fire, hands laced, Alex whispered, no one saw us coming, but we arrived. Jordan's kiss, timeless, and stayed. Decades later, the garden at Evergreen High stood as a monument, not just to two boys' pennants, but to legacies sown in soil and soul. Alex Rivera Hayes, now 48, silver threading his dark hair, glasses still perched on his nose, knelt pulling weeds with the Eco Club kids, his laugh rich as the earth. Jordan, beside him, broader now with forge-earned muscle, blonde gone gray but eyes still piercing blue, demonstrated pruning shears, his wave tattoo faded but fierce. See? Cut here, let it breathe. Jordan said, voice gravel softened by years, guiding a shy freshman girl's hand. She nodded, beaming, reminding Alex of their first awkward tugs at Vines, sparks flying unspoken. Life had layered them like sedimentary rock. After college, they bought a fixer-upper in West Seattle, overlooking the Sound, transforming backyard into edible paradise, berries for Timmy's pies, herbs for Alex's teas. Timmy, 28 now, lived nearby with his husband, Javier, their adopted daughter Luna toddling with Jordan's skateboard mini. Uncle Alex, push, she'd demand, and he'd oblige, knees protesting but heart full. Careers intertwined. Alex's consultancy Green Cities, Jordan's art welded public installations. Waves crashing in steel at parks, hearts entwined on bridges. Their joint nonprofit, Storm Roots, funded youth programs, skate camps for at-risk kids, garden therapies for trauma, stories like theirs retold in safe spaces. But paths weren't linear. Early marriage strained. Jordan's wanderlust clashing Alex's structure, arguments flaring hot as his forge. One night, post-fight over a missed anniversary, Alex buried in grants, Jordan on a mural gig in Portland. Jordan packed a bag. Need space, Lex. Not leaving, just breathing. Alex's panic crested, old fears roaring, abandonment's echo from foster shadows. He chased the door, rain sheeting, grabbing Jordan's arm. Echo of that library night. Don't. We promised storms together. Jordan turned, bag dropping, eyes wet. I know. God, I know. But I'm scared I'll dim you. Confession cracked open. Imposter syndrome from rough starts, fearing his chaos tainted Alex's light. They talked till dawn, on rain-slick porch, truths bared. Alex's perfectionism a shield for immigrant pressures, Jordan's rebellion armor against loss. Therapy followed, couples sessions in cozy offices, unpacking crates long buried. Laughter returned, deeper. Intimacy reignited, slower, savoring scars as maps. Parenting amplified joys and tests. Adopting twins, Mateo and Sophia, at 35, siblings from overburdened system, stretched them. Sleepless nights with colic cries, Jordan pacing with babes, Alex charting feeds like equations. But milestones melted hearts. First steps toward Daddy Jordan's open arms, Sophia's pigtails and Alex's garden dirt, Mateo's sketches mirroring his papa's art. Challenges shadowed. Health scares, Jordan's shoulder surgery from old skate wipeout, Alex's bout with burnout, therapy, grounding both. Society's shifts helped. Obergefell affirming, but microaggressions lingered, like board members questioning family man creds. They pushed back, Alex's op-eds in The Stranger, Jordan's murals screaming pride. Anniversaries marked growth. 10th, vow renewal on Olympic Bluffs, Timmy officiating, kids scattering petals. 20th, Hawaii honeymoon redux, volcano hikes, lava flows mirroring passions renewed. 30th, quiet, backyard with family, stories swapped till stars wheeled. Now, returning to Evergreen as guest speakers, auditorium packed, faces diverse, mirrors of their youth. Alex took stage, Jordan's hand in his underpodium, steady. We were the perfect student and the troublemaker. Alex began, voice warm, worlds apart. But love? It bridges chasms, turns rivals to roots. Jordan leaned in, Mike shared. And storms? They make rainbows. Laughter rippled, applause thundering. Post-talk, a boy approached, 17, trembling, notebook clutched. I'm scared, like you were, eyes wide, echoing Alex's library terror. They knelt, Jordan's arm around shoulders. Fear's the start, Alex said. But you're not alone. Find her, Jordan, or be him. Contacts swapped, seeds planted. Driving home, sunset gilding the Sound, Luna asleep in booster, twins bickering over playlists, Timmy trailing in his truck. Jordan's hand on Alex's thigh, thumb circling ring. Good day, golden boy. Best life, Alex replied, leaning for a kiss at red light. Easy, enduring. In their kitchen that night, chaos of dinner. Sophia's veggies flung, Mateo's jokes landing flat. Jordan caught Alex's eye over chaos, mouthing love you. Simple, profound. Bed later, bodies tangled familiar, whispers tracing paths worn deep. No one saw us coming. Alex murmured, head on Jordan's chest, heartbeat lullaby. But we kept going. Jordan's kiss to temple, arm tightening. Outside, rain tapped gentle, eternal companion, witness to their unseen story, now legend lived. Looking back, the threads of their tapestry wove from that shattered library window, but the real unraveling began in quieter fractures, moments when love's weight tested its warp and weft. After the twins arrived, sleep deprivation carved canyons. Alex snapping over spilled milk, Jordan retreating to garage, sparks flying not just from welder, but words unspoken. You're always working. Alex accused one dawn, circles under eyes like bruises. Jordan's retort stung, and you're always planning. When do we live? Door slammed, silence heavier than rain. Reconciliation came halting, coffee on porch, apologies brewed strong. "I miss us," Jordan admitted. Hand over Alex's, Callus's rough reminders of labor shared. They recommitted. Date nights enforced, chores rotated, therapy a bi-weekly anchor. Intimacy rebuilt brick by tender brick. Notes in lunchboxes, stolen showers turning steamy, reaffirming bodies as homes. External gales howled too. Storm routes expanded, grants flowing, but bureaucracy snarled. Funders questioning queer-led efficacy, board politics pitting progressives. Alex testified at City Hall, voice steady. Diversity isn't checkbox, it's strength. Jordan's art countered visually. Installations at protests, steel fists unclenching to hands holding. Family dynamics shifted sands. Timmy's wedding to Javier, beachside with Luna Flower Girl, bridged pasts. Jordan walking him down aisle, tears unashamed. But stepdad's ghost lingered. A letter arrived years later. Scrawled apology post-rehab, regret the hurt. Jordan burned it in backyard fire pit. Ashes to wind. Too late for sorry. Twins' teen years tempestuous. Mateo's coming out at 14. Crushes on boys met with school counselors' outdated pamphlets. Alex advocated, Jordan role-modeled. Own a kid. We're here. Sophia's activism flared. Climate strikes. Arrests for sit-ins. Alex's pride mingled worry. Jordan's grin wide. That's our firecracker. Health's unpredictability struck hardest. At 52, Jordan's diagnosis. Early rheumatoid arthritis. Joints rebelling from years hammering metal. Flares confined him to couch. Pain etching lines deeper. Alex adapted seamlessly. Adaptive tools in studio. Nights rubbing salve into hands that once pulled him close so easily. Hate being weak. Jordan growled one storm-lashed evening. Rain mirroring mood. You're not weak, Alex countered, straddling lap careful, kiss feather soft. You're my warrior. Love-making adapted. Slower. Sensual. Focus on breath and gaze. Pleasure in presence over prowess. Vulnerability bonded deeper. Jordan's whispers, thank you, more potent than any forge. Alex's crisis mirrored. Perimenopause at 49, hormones haywire, energy ebbing like tide. Feel invisible, he confessed in therapist chair, Jordan's squeezing hand. Retreats followed, couples yoga in the Cascades, mindfulness by sound, reclaiming selves. Grandparenting gilded edges. Luna's toddler chaos evolved to elementary wonder, Mateo and Sophia's kids, little Kai and Elena, arriving via IVF with partners. Holidays swelled. Thanksgiving tables groaning, stories circling. Library crash retold with laughs, kisses under mistletoe casual. Legacy projects anchored. Evergreen garden endowed. Named Rivera Hayes Resilience Grove. Plaques noting where opposites bloom. Storm roots global now. Chapters in Portland, Vancouver, youth testimonials echoing theirs. Anniversary 35th, Italy dream. Venice canals, gondolas swaying. Jordan's knee brace hidden under linen. In Murano glassblower shop, they crafted vase. Twisted waves in cobalt and emerald. Symbol of Ben's endured. Dinner al fresco, pasta twirled, toast to unseen comings, seen stayings. Back home, challenges persisted. Climate's wrath, wildfires choking skies, Alex's work frantic, political regressions, rights rolled back in states, protests reignited. They march still, signs high. Love wins, always. Jordan's art amplified. Murals of intertwined roots, defying axes. Personal tempests. Empty nest when twins flew. Sophia to Yale, poetic justice. Mateo to art school in NYC. House echoed, but they filled with travel. Backpacking Patagonia, glaciers calving like rebirths. Volunteering in Costa Rica, sea turtles hatching under moons. 60th birthday, joint bash. Backyard under strung lights. Family orbiting, toast flowing. Timmy's speech. Utah loves a verb. Doing, not just being. Dance floor cleared. Jordan pulling Alex close. Sway slow to old indie tracks. Whispers still my storm. Bed that night. Bodies aged but eager, hands mapping familiar terrains, climaxes quiet earthquakes. Forever, Alex breathed. Longer, Jordan murmured, sleep claiming. Reflections deepened with years, regrets few, missed trips for grants, words sharp in haste, but graces abounded, friendships forged in clubs, community woven tight. Health's final curve, Jordan's heart murmur at 70, stints placed, Alex's side, cancer scare, biopsies clear but vigilance eternal. They faced hand in hand, hospital gowns, shared jokes, if we go together. But life persisted, stubborn as their love. 80th loomed, garden silvered, kids grand, greats toddling. Speakers again at Evergreen, voices quavered but strong. We fell unseen, rose seen. Boy in audience, eyes bright, cycle renewed. Homeward, sunset sound ablaze, Jordan's head on Alex's shoulder drive. Best plot twist, he said. Alex smiled, hand and hair gray. Our story, ending? Never. In the twilight of their years, the house by the sound became a vessel of memories. walls etched with laughter lines, and scuff marks from tiny feet long grown. Alex, at 75, moved with deliberate grace, came tapping rhythms on hardwood floors worn smooth by decades of pacing worried paths. His hair, fully silver now, framed a face etched with wisdom's map, crow's feet from squinting at blueprints, laugh lines deepened by Jordan's endless quips. Jordan, 2 years a senior at 77, shuffled beside. His once broad frame leaned on a walker adorned with Timmy's stickers, waves and rainbows, defiant cheer. Arthritis had claimed his hands fire, but his eyes still sparked blue mischief, voice a rumble of stories untold. Morning's ritual. Coffee brewed strong. Alex portioning pills into organizers labeled with their initials. JR for Jordan's heart meds. AR for Alex's blood pressure. They'd sit on the deck, sounds stretching misty, gulls wheeling like old friends. Remember that first kiss? Jordan would start, grin crooked from a stroke 3 years back that slurred his left side, but not his spirit. Alex's chuckle bubbled, hand finding Jordan's gnarled one, rings dull but enduring. How could I forget? Tasted like rain and regret. They'd lean, foreheads touching, breaths sinking. Intimacy now in glances, touches lingering, bodies too frail for old passions but souls entwined eternal. Family orbited devoted. Timmy and Javier retired nearby, Luna a marine biologist studying Puget orcas, her wife and their son visiting Sundays with salmon catches. Mateo, artist in galleries worldwide. Sophia, environmental lawyer arguing supreme briefs. Ironic echoes of parents' paths. Grandkids Kai and Elena, parents themselves, brought great-grandbabies. Little Rio, 3, clambering onto Jordan's lap for poppy stories. Elena's twins cooing at Alex's garden tales. Challenges lingered, softer now. Mobility aids negotiated stairs with lifts installed post-hip replacements. Jordan's dementia flickered. Names slipped, library night retold with glass as thunder, but Alex anchored, photo albums flipped, that's us love. Shattered but whole. Music therapy helped. Indie playlists from youth, Jordan humming off key, Alex singing harmonies, tears mixing laughs. Health's thief struck bolder. Alex's Parkinson's diagnosis at 78, tremors starting in hands that once steadied Jordan's. Your turn to forge. Alex joked weakly, but fear shadowed. Loss of independence, burdens weight. Jordan's response fierce. We carry each other. Always. Adaptive tech arrived. Voice-activated lights, weighted utensils, storm routes funding research, their story looped in grants. Political gales howled on. Regressions and rights. Youth centers defunded. Echoes of early fights. From armchairs, they donated, wrote letters. Alex's op-eds syndicated. Jordan's sketches scanned for petitions. Old warriors, Timmy teased, but pride swelled. Travel tempered time. Accessible cruises to Alaska, fjords mirroring their depths. Train to NYC for Mateo's exhibit, wheelchairs rolling galleries. Venice Redux at 80, gondola gentle, Jordan's whisper still my Venice, over canal lapping. Anniversary 50th, intimate, backyard under rebuilt arbor, roses rampant. Family gathered, vows refreshed, Jordan slurred but sincere. Chose you then, choose still. Rings polished, kisses chaste but charged. Cake cut, toasts. Luna's anchors in storm, Sophia's roots unbreakable. Post-party, quiet deck, stars pricking velvet sky. Regrets. Jordan asked, head on Alex's shoulder. None worth naming. You. Alex's arm circled, came propped aside. Only not sooner. Laughter shared, soft. Legacy bloomed final chapters. Evergreen Grove Pilgrimage Annual, speeches pass youth. Rio one day, perhaps. Storm roots endowed. Chapters thriving, testimonials archived. Your story saved mine. Winter's grip tightened at 82 for Jordan. Pneumonia's chill seeping. Hospital beeps symphony of monitors. Alex bedside, hand clasped, stories whispered. Remember gas works? Stars and us. Jordan smiled faint, eyes locking. Best night. Last breath came dawn. Rain pattering window. Storm's gentle farewell. Alex's sob raw. But peace and release. No suffering prolonged. Grief's ocean swallowed. Days blurred. House echoing Jordan's absence. Walker folded, chair empty. Family enveloped, but nights alone. Alex traced ring, finger, memories tied. Therapy, support groups, widower circle at center, stories shared. He was my horizon. Spring stirred resolve. Garden tended, Jordan's shears in hand, trembling but sure. Murals visited, hands laid on steel hearts. Writing began. Memoir, unseen storm. Pages pouring. Library crash, to last breath. Love's arc unbroken. Healing wove slow. Travel solo. Train to Portland, storm roots chapter hug. Hawaii alone, waves whispering Jordan's name. Family filled, great-grandkids chaos, Luna's orchid tales. At 85, Parkinson's progressed. Wheelchair days, voice softener, but spirit unbowed. Speaking tour, memoir launch, love doesn't end. It echoes. Audiences wept, youth inspired. Final summer, sound sunset ablaze, Rio beside. 8 now, skateboard whizzing. Tell Poppy Jordan's story, Abuelo. Alex smiled, cane steadying, words flowing. Once a perfect student met a troublemaker. Tale spun, eyes distant yet bright. Winter claimed gently, heart quiet in sleep, rain lullaby. Family gathered, toast to lives intertwined. But in gardens, groves, hearts, their story persisted, unseen no more, coming eternal. Years after the rain-soaked library window had been repaired and forgotten by all but two, the tale of Alex Rivera and Jordan Hayes lingered in the whispers of Evergreen High's halls, a legend passed like contraband notes between lockers. It was the story that defied the script. The straight-A scholar and a leather-clad rebel, two 18-year-old boys whose collision under Seattle's perpetual drizzle rewrote the rules of fate. No one saw it coming, least of all them, but in the end, it became the love that outlasted storms, proving that the most unbreakable bonds are forged not in calm, but in chaos. Decades on, the garden they once toiled over as punishment had evolved into a sanctuary, its paths lined with benches engraved with their names, wildflowers nodding in the wind off the sound. On a crisp October afternoon, much like the one when their paths first crossed, Rio Hayes Rivera, now a lanky 16-year-old with his great-uncle Jordan's blue eyes and his abuelo Alex's thoughtful gaze, led a group of freshmen through the grove. His skateboard tucked under arm, he gestured to a plaque half buried in ivy. This is where it started. Not with books or fights, but with dirt and second chances. The kids leaned in, phones forgotten, drawn by the pull of a story that felt like theirs, awkward, aching alive. Rio's voice, steady with inherited fire, wove the narrative. The crash of glass that night, Alex's frozen shock meeting Jordan's defiant grin. The forced partnership that bloomed into stolen kisses under trellises. The battles against bullies and biases, fists and fears, all weathered together. He spoke of the library's shards as metaphors, not destruction, but light refracted, illuminating truths long hidden. One girl, braids swinging, raised a hand. Did they make it, like, happily ever after? Rio's laugh echoed Jordan's. Low, warm, a rumble of thunder cleared. Happily? Nah, that's fairy tale stuff. They made it real. Fights, losses, joys that knock you flat. Jordan taught Alex to break rules for love. Alex showed Jordan roots run deep. They built a family, fosters adoptions, art and gardens that fed souls. Storm roots? That's theirs. Places for kids like you, skating through storms or planting seeds in shit soil. He paused, eyes distant, tracing the wave etched on the bench. Jordan's tattoo reborn in bronze. Abuelo Alex wrote it all down before he went. Unseen storm. Read it. It's not just their love. It's yours waiting to bloom. As the group dispersed, chattering animated, Rio lingered, pulling a worn journal from his backpack. Alex's last entries, gifted at the memorial. Pages yellowed, ink faded, but words vivid. Reflections on Jordan's laugh like summer breaking winter, on hands that held through hospital vigils and victory laps. Love isn't perfect, one passage read. It's the choice to stay when the rain pours hardest. Jordan was my trouble, my home, my horizon. No one saw us coming, but we arrived. Messy, mighty mine. Rio closed it, pocketing, and wheeled his board to the overlook, dropping in with an ollie that carved the air. Below, the sound churned gray-green, gulls crying freedom. In his pocket, phone buzzed. Mia's granddaughter, his crush, texting coordinates for a secret garden meetup in Fremont. He grinned, heart quickening, another unseen story brewing. Miles away, in the house by the water, Sophia Rivera Hayes sorted boxes in the attic, dust motes dancing in sunbeams slanting through porthole windows. At 52, she was a force, silver streaks in her curls, lawyer's briefcase swapped for nonprofit helm, storm roots her legacy baton. But today, nostalgia tugged. Yellowed photos spilling. Alex and Jordan Young, arms slung casual, eyes screaming volumes. Wedding arbor, roses riotous. Twins as babes, Jordan's ink-smeared cheeks from bedtime stories. A sketch fluttered free, Jordan's hand, post-stroke shaky but sure. Two figures entwined under rain, labeled us against eternity. Tears pricked, she traced lines, whispering, "Miss you, papas." Downstairs, Mateo hosted family brunch, tables groaning with tamales from Mom's recipe, Javier's guac, Luna's smoked salmon. Timmy, gray at temples, chased great-grandtwins with tickle monster roars, Luna filming for her docu-series on queer elders. Their voices echo, she narrated off mic, in every wave we ride. Conversation flowed. Rio's coming out coffee with Sophia last month, nerves eased by tales of Alex's Yale deferral. Kai's first art show, Mateo's critiques gentle. Laughter crested when Javier unearthed home video. 80s camcorder grainy. Jordan teaching Timmy to skate, Alex filming with deadpan commentary. Future Olympian or lawsuit waiting? Toast rose, to storms that shape us. Wine swirled ruby, rain pattering roof like applause. Afternoon waned. Family scattered, Sophia alone with ghosts. She wandered garden, expanded vast, edibles yielding abundance. Kneeling by original rosebush, pruned by Jordan's shears now hers, she unearthed berry time capsule. Letter sealed, unearthed today, per Alex's will. One for each child, grandchild. Words from beyond. Sophia, fight like your Papa Jordan, fierce for justice. Let love be your compass, not fear. Envelope to Rio, skate fast but love slow. You're the storm we dreamed. Tears fell free, watering soil. She planted new seeds, hybrid roses, resilient strains, whispering, your turn to grow. Dusk fell, sound silvered. Sophia lit lantern strung by Jordan decades back, glow warm defiance. Phone rang, Mateo, art walk tonight? Dedicate to them. Always. She hung up, stepping out, rain-kissing face, welcome kin. In galleries downtown, Mateo's exhibit pulsed. Sculptures welded collaborative, Jordan's tools passed down, waves crashing into trees, roots gripping steel hearts. Opening night thrummed. Critics nodding, youth from storm roots wide-eyed. Rio arrived late, board clacking pavement, Mia's granddaughter on arm. Lila, braids like her great-nana's, hand lay shy. They wandered, fingers brushing canvases, Papa Jordan's touch, Mateo explained, voice thick. He said art holds what words can't. Our mess, our magic. Lila squeezed Rio's hand. Like your story? He nodded, pulling her close amid murmurs. Want to make ours? Kiss tentative, then sure, under lights, echoes of firsts. Night deepened, city humming. Back home, Sophia journaled by fire. Alex's habit adopted. Today planted their seeds anew. Love's not ending, it's endless beginning. Across waters, Luna's boat rocked gentle, Orcus breaching black. She recorded audio, memoir excerpts voiced by family, waves underscoring. Their love, she spoke. Whale song deep, unseen currents carrying us. Final frame, dawn breaking. Rain ceased, sun gilding grove. Freshman return, plaque polished, story sewn. A boy and girl linger, hands brushing, unseen spark igniting. No one saw them coming, but in the garden's heart, roots whispered, welcome home.